Hello, Burlington, and welcome to the first euphonious edition of King Kong Trail. It's a new song. It was short.
It was short.
They're
It's an
gonna
intro segment.
They're going to have the whole. I think it's like a 9-minute opus.
That would be a really long opening segment, 9 minutes.
It would be.
But, I mean, it would be great, but it would be really long.
Mm-hmm.
Dave Schwarm, right?
Yes, Dave Schwarm.
I never did dig that guy, ever.
No?
I love Dave.
Yeah.
Dave is fantastic. Dave's a great guy.
I mean, who could not love Dave Schwarm?
He's fantastic. He really is.
Well, before I start and we get into this, sitting next to my lovely blushing bride, Amy.
Hello.
And I wanted to say your daughter's last name, but
Ripple.
it's Mike Ripple.
Yeah.
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 I was going to say her first name. It's like, wait a second.
Yeah.
No, that's the connection.
And she's funnier than I am. I guarantee it. She absolutely is. Yeah.
So will she be performing?
No. She performs for me.
Okay.
It's she tries jokes that she thinks is funny, and and she tests them on Dad, and Dad laughs because she honestly is the funniest person I know. She's hysterical,
Very cool. Very cool. Well, so I invited you on because I seen that you were hosting Open Mic Comedy Night.
Yeah.
And then, I'm trying to book just about anybody and everybody I possibly can to get them on here and get to
Because we're a
talking
fun
about
podcast.
Yeah, get to talking about Burlington and
absolutely,
and things like that. So I thought, man, I have never seen or heard of an Open Mic Comedy Night. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And yeah,
Oh, I was just going to try and tell you to switch cameras.
I'm going to.
Okay.
But since I'm monologuing,
Oh, I'm monologuing.
Is this
is
the-
this part of the comedy act?
well, it's I'm like Syndrome. I'm sitting there trying to.
Oh, but that's when people throw cars at you. Isn't that what they did on
In the
Incredibles? I love that movie.
You get them stuck in a monologue, and then
So you're the evil villain.
well,
I've never seen it.
you haven't seen the Incredibles?
No, are you guys going to beat me up or?
No, well,
Well,
I
we're
don't
going to turn the
know.
Maybe.
cameras off.
Oh, you're out of here, Mike. Get out.
We'll see you later.
Right, I get it. I get it. I understand totally.
I'm surprised. I mean, you have a daughter in junior high. Everybody, cartoons.
Yeah, she wasn't. I mean, she wasn't into that. I mean, she wasn't into the Incredibles. She was into like. She'd probably kill me, but like when she was little, she was into Daniel Tiger, of course.
I love
And I
Daniel
love that. Peppa Pig. She was into Peppa Pig, and Elmo and all that stuff.
Okay.
But she never really got into like the Incredibles. She and I both were into Teen Titans.
Oh, Teen Titans Go or just Teen Titans?
No, Teen Titans Go.
Do you know the waffle song?
I don't. I know she probably does.
So we have waffle day every once in a while at work, and I go around and I work in cubicle land, and
Okay.
I feel like Pac-Man when I'm walking around my office, and I just hear in the back of my mind going womp 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 womp, and I really want to plaster white paper plates around so that I can just start collecting them as I go around. Anyway, but so waffles, going back to the original thing, one of the Teen Titan Go episodes, they just sing waffles, and it goes waffles, 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 and it's so stupid. But when we have waffle day, I go around and we kind of conga line to waffle, waffle, waffles, and invite everyone over who wants to eat a waffle with us because waffles are awesome.
Waffles are fantastic.
Right.
They are.
Yeah.
They should be their own food group.
They should.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, they're compartmentalized, and then when you put the syrup over them, everything flows over. It's just like.
Now you got to also put chicken on top of the waffles.
I've never done that.
What?
I've never done it.
Oh,
Oh, we
yeah.
used to be
What is
friends.
this obsession with putting chicken on top of waffles with syrup?
It
it that good?
It is the sweet and the savory.
Okay.
It is the salty
It's the yin and
and
the
the
yang.
sugary, and it just
I can do that by putting caramel in my popcorn.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or,
With the-
listen, I'm a fat guy. I know food. all right?
Okay.
So
You don't know waffles, but okay.
I don't know why. I'm so sorry, miss. Jeez. So
Could have had you over for dinner and
yeah,
educated
exactly.
you.
Yeah. Just got X'd out of that. But what's delicious is here's what I do. I can't anymore because I've developed a lactose intolerance.
Oh,
right?
that's
Oh,
harsh.
it's horrible. But what I would do is I would take Ritz crackers and I would crumble them up on Neapolitan ice cream, milk, a little bit of chocolate syrup.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
That would be the
Cholesterol
sweets.
all throughout your heart.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
I've never thought about putting crackers, but I've seen pretzels, like chocolate dipped pretzels in
Sure.
ice cream. So crackers would be an interesting thing, especially since we usually have crackers, but we don't have pretzels all the time.
Yeah.
Or ice cream. She's got this funny rule that ice cream is only on the weekends.
Well, it's because I was eating way too much of it because I was buying it every day, and I'm
So
like,
hold on. You instated the rule for the entire house?
no, I personally will not buy ice cream unless it's a weekend.
Oh,
I don't
okay,
care
got
if
it.
they buy it.
So, okay, now are you like a Briars woman? Or are you
Blue Bunny. I'm a Blue Bunny
okay,
girl.
that's respectable.
Yeah.
Or just go straight to like Grandpa's or Dairy Queen, right?
Oh, yes. Oh, but Culver's is not ice cream, so if I can't make
How
it
we get around it.
Thank you.
it's custard.
Thank you.
It's custard.
Exactly.
The Dairy Queen is ice milk.
And,
Right.
Frosties are just, I really don't know what Frosties are, but they're really good with French fries.
Thank you. And you grew up here, right?
Yep.
Okay. Black Hawk ice cream at the park.
Yes.
The best. Yeah.
I've
Listen,
never heard of this place. Okay.
Okay,
Tell me
so
about it.
it would be east of the band shell on the other side of the street, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, and it was this little ice cream shop. And they had the crappy little parking lot with big potholes and stuff in it.
So there's like Walmart.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was the most delicious ice cream ever. Absolute the best.
What was it
Remember?
called?
Black Hawk ice cream.
Huh.
Yep.
But I will tell you this: in Hillsboro, there is a gas station, like a little mini mart.
Okay.
The ice cream tastes exactly the same.
Oh.
So
Where's
How
Hills-
far is, where's that at?
Hillsboro. Is
It's
that
off
towards
of-
Iowa
off
City?
218 in what is it, Teetering, Lee, and Henry County.
Okay.
But it's very easy to find. Just the signs on 218. You'll go west on to Hillsboro, and it's the gas station's right there in the middle of town. It is delicious.
Is it the only thing in the middle of town? I
Pretty
mean,
much. There's
okay,
a
so it's
park.
easy to find.
Yeah, absolutely. It's right next to the park.
So good ice cream always needs to be next to a park,
It
is what
does.
I'm hearing.
It does.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part.
Well, it was great back then because you're cruising the park, you're doing your activities.
What kind of activities did
Wow.
you do, Doug?
Mine were never legal.
Okay.
I was that type of kid.
Hold on. Before we go any further, is there something we should be concerned with? It's statute of limitations.
No.
Okay.
No.
Speak away.
So like
I'm like, yes, is it?
when we went one time we went cruising, we went of course kids my age, we all went to Carpenter's.
Back in my
Because-
day.
Yep.
Because Carpenter's, if you were underage, that's where you went. Hopefully there's no statute of limitation on that.
I don't think
So you'd go there and you go out to the park and you would do your partying. And I remember one time that it was me, my brother, and my cousin, and just all the people we hang out with, and the cops just showed up out of the woods. And of course there was 2 cops and 3+, and mine went whoo.
I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, I have no idea.
They showed up.
And then they caught my brother and they caught my cousin, and I remember my cousin. They're like, they started asking him all these questions. What's your address? What's your social security? And he was like 5, 9, 12, 16. He was which was sad because that little incident kept my brother from. He wanted to join the Air Force.
Oh no!
And they're like,
no.
you got a drinking thing on your record.
That
so
sucks. They were so strict back then.
They were.
Now you can do anything to get in the military.
Yeah, because I remember it was drinking age was 18.
Yeah.
And I think it was right around that. I don't know what year they switched it over, but it went from 18 to 21. So they're really cracking down on
Right.
people.
Yeah.
So
I don't remember when it wasn't 21, so that must have been.
Just because you're younger than us, you don't have to brag about it, okay?
that and
You guys make it so easy.
She should do 5 minutes.
yeah.
At least.
Well, you didn't drink until I corrupted you.
I'm corrupted.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
That sounds so intrusive. Corrupted.
Well,
it wasn't against her will. I'll tell you that.
no. I was,
You were willing.
I was willing.
Right.
Yeah. And it was tasty. I just am allergic to it. So,
What is it?
huh?
What was it?
What was that?
What was your first one?
Yes.
Sex on the Beach.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yeah.
All the
I think about that and I get diabetes. I mean, it's just so bad. It's like a Long Island iced tea. I don't know what kind of people drink them,
my brother.
but I know what kind of people they become. You know,
I used to,
Diabetic.
is he diabetic?
He was, yes.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I didn't know when I first heard of Long Island iced tea. I didn't understand what the big deal was with the Long Island iced tea. And hey, something fell down. But I just thought it was iced tea, and I was like, okay, why are you charging so much for iced tea? That I don't get it.
$12, please.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
what the heck?
Forget that.
But the funny thing is with her, she has Asian flush.
Sorry.
Asian flush. Her family is all her dad's side is all Native Hawaiian.
Okay.
So they have
Hawaiian, Chinese, Filipino.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
and it's a thing called Asian flush where they drink alcohol, and she gets blotchy,
Really?
and you can watch as she drinks.
Like little bitty, like it's not like even a big drink. I'll have like a little. I have little drinks.
Yeah,
that's all I can handle. Little drinks.
Seagram's wine coolers would set it off, and it just
Really?
kind of creep up, and it's like, oh
Wow. How about Purple Passion? Is that a thing? Bartles and James.
I don't think I've ever had that.
No, you haven't had that.
Yeah.
I was going back to the late 80s.
Oh,
you know?
okay. Yeah. No, I wasn't drinking then. I was still in, grade school. Lady.
Wow.
In the 80s,
Yes.
we're not that far apart. Well, okay, if it
I was in the 80s in the eighth. I graduated 8th grade in '89. So.
Dang, dude.
yeah.
I mean, well, I think we need to move on because of this statute of limitations right here.
Yeah.
Maybe. Maybe. I mean, moving on.
Swiftly moving on.
Yeah.
Okay, so good ice cream is next to Parks.
No way. No way. I thought you turned it off.
I didn't. But yeah.
All right.
All right. It won't go off till 7:30.
Okay.
I thought I
Perfect.
turned it off.
Wow. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
So don't forget to take them when you go back inside.
I probably will.
I know. I'll remind you.
Yeah.
You're a good team. Okay. So ice cream next to the park is the best thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And then,
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself. You grew up here in Burlington?
I did. I grew up here in Burlington. I come from a broken home, so I mean, that's kind of the norm, I think, for Gen X. You know, a lot of them come from broken homes. Moved to Kingston in the winter of '79. You know, and went to school in Minneapolis, and it was a culture shock. I grew up on South 6th Street, 630 South 6th.
I grew up at 408 South 7th.
Okay, yeah, we were in the same neighborhood.
Yeah.
And then when I went to Minneapolis, culture shock, no black people whatsoever, none, you know. And the majority of my friends were black. Like I grew up like these were my neighbors and my friends, and like I remember crying like the first week that I had to go to school there because my friends weren't there, you know. And I was just a little fat kid, you know. I didn't have any friends. Like the only person with melanin was this half Mexican kid, you know. And nothing wrong with that, but you know, I was used to being around black people, you know, because I listened to the music. I listened to Parliament Funkadelic and all that, and I listened to Red Fox and Richard Pryor albums, but and then it's like it's all taken away, and you're like, you're stuck with these white kids, and They're not fun, you know. I don't like them because you can't play the dozens. You can't, you know, have your mama jokes and all this kind of stuff. You remember the dozens? And it was just a cut down game. That's all it was.
Okay.
You know, and it always ended up in a fight. It always did, you know. And I couldn't fight for shit anyway, so it didn't matter, you know. I'd say something about someone's mom, and I'd immediately cover up because I couldn't fight, you know. But yeah, I did that. I would take. I had my Richard Pryor albums, and Red Fox wasn't as bad, of course, you know. He did work a little bit blue, but not like Pryor and Carlin. But I would take those albums and I would put them in like Captain America sleeves, you know, so my parents wouldn't find them. Oh. You know, so I mean, they'd come across and be like, "Oh, there's just a stupid Captain America," and you know, I don't know. REO Speedwagon or something, you know. Mm-hmm. No, that was my secret stash, and I always had headphones. I never listened to them through the speakers. I would listen to the headphones, but I listened to albums over and over and over and over, you know. And like I said, I couldn't fight, you know, so I would have to. I got sick of getting beat up and not being able to say anything, you know. So I would copy insults that I learned from Richard Pryor, who always had someone say something at his concerts, you know, and, you know, he was always, shut the fuck up, you know, stuff like that. So, I mean, and the way you say something, you know, back then I tried to emulate everything he said and the way he said it and the tone and the cadence and everything, you know, but you know what really make me mad and stuff like that, you know. So, I mean, yeah, I grew up in Kingston. I went there until 8th grade, and then I moved back to Burlington. Went to Notre Dame for 1 year. Didn't like the principal. She didn't like me. She didn't like my father. So then I ended up going to West Burlington and finishing out of high school. But yeah, I mean, I've grown up here. I've never left. I never wanted to. You know, I mean, it's people are like, "Oh, how come you never left?" Because I didn't want to. You know, I'm comfortable here. Right. I've been to big cities. I've been to New York City. It's a shithole. I don't want to go there.
Amen.
You know?
Amen.
Yeah.
It's crazy there. Yeah. It's kind of fun to visit and then leave.
Yeah. So I went there with my uncle. And so we had to go there to clean out my other uncle's apartment who had passed away. Mm-hmm. So we're in Brooklyn Heights. We're just off of the bridge, you know, down below. And we're staying at a Marriott Hotel. So this is, I used to smoke back then.
We were talking New York City.
Yeah. I was in New York City. And so, like I was saying, I went there with my uncle to clean out the apartment of my other uncle who had passed away. Mm-hmm. And so we were in Brooklyn Heights underneath the Brooklyn Bridge. And so my uncle was like, "Do you want to venture off and go get some breakfast?" I said, "Yeah, no problem." We go to this place right in the corner. It's called the Payo Deli. And it's Dominican owned, you know, very proud Dominicans. And flags all over the place. And so we're sitting there and we you know, we give the lady our order. Very, very kind lady, had a baby in her arms, you know, and she's writing, you know, the entire time. You know, and I've never heard of home fries. I don't know what home fries is. It's just cut up potatoes. I don't know. So anyway, I'm sitting at the window, and my uncle is talking to my aunt, you know, over the phone. And I see across the street, I see this guy come up out of the subway stairs. And he's got 2 bags of I don't know what, just stuff. And he's a transient, I think, homeless guy, you know. So he looks at the deli and he says, "Oh," so he starts bebopping over there. And so he leaves his bags outside and he goes, he comes in and he's looking around and I'm watching him in the window in the reflection, you know, and I've got my fork, you know, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. And I can't spoon him, you know. I don't even know the guy. So I got my fork ready to go. And he comes in. He's looking around, and he goes, excuse me, could I get some coffee? I'm a bum. I ain't got nothing." And so the guy, who evidently was the owner, he was in the back cooking. And he looks out, and he says something in Spanish to the woman up front. Mm-hmm. She was nice enough to get the guy a red Solo cup full of coffee, gave him sugar, cream, stir stick, all that stuff. I mean, and give it to him. "Thank you, miss. Thank you." And so he's, you know,
With the sugars
and
and stuff.
he's pouring, he's looking around. He stirs it up. He takes a big gulp and he's putting it on his hands, you know, because they're cold. And I'm watching him the entire time. And all of a sudden, I knew something shitty was going to happen. I knew it.
You had your fork and you were ready for it.
I had my fork and I was ready. And my uncle is still on the phone with his wife. Mm-hmm. And so he puts the coffee down by his waist and he goes, I am not the alpha. I am not the alpha. And I'm thinking this is like some Law and Order shit about to happen, you know? So I grab my uncle like this and I've got him behind me and I've got my fork. I swear to God, I've got my fork ready to go.
How old are you?
This was 2015, 2016, something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was, you know, relatively, you know, in the recent past.
Okay.
And so he's still screaming, I am not the alpha. And so from behind the grill, the manager owner says, hey, I'm the Omega. Get the fuck out. Like that. And so the guy, you know, starts getting out and he's outside screaming now. I am not the alpha. I am not the alpha. And I'm just like, okay.
What the heck?
Yeah, I've got my fork ready to go to jam it into his eye if I have to. So I look across the street and the door is still propped open, like it has not shut. So I'm looking across the street where he came up out of the subway. Mm-hmm. And this cop comes up out of the subway. A little short, stocky, must have been like an Italian guy or something, you know. He was built. And he hears this guy yelling. And he goes, hey, I thought I told you, get the fuck out of here. And the guy dropped his coffee, grabbed his bags, and took off.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's a weird thing to yell. I mean,
I don't know. I thought it was like some, you know, Son of Sam shit that was going on, you know.
Yeah.
Like he was going to start talking to dogs or something next. I don't know. But David Berkowitz, you know. But yeah, I mean, I don't have any want to go anywhere. Like, I don't want to live anywhere else. If I were to win the lottery, I would just build a house outside of town. I love Burlington. Mm-hmm. I do. I love Burlington.
It is a great place.
Fantastic. Yeah, absolutely. But where was I going with that story? I have no clue. Like I'm like Michael Scott. I just meander and just hope I pick it up at the end. You know.
That's what she said.
Thank you. Thank you. By the way, we have the Office trivia coming up.
I would
March
kill
15th.
at that.
March 15th at the Somme. It's $200 to win.
How much does it cost to? I mean, how does the trivia night work? I mean, you get together with friends and.
What it is you got to make reservations because we'll be sold out. I don't know if you know this, but
I probably don't.
At the Somme this past Sunday, and like I said, my cousin owns a Somme. We had Taylor Swift trivia.
I would not done very good.
I would not have done. I don't know any of her stuff.
I'm telling you. So we had 2 rooms full of mostly ladies.
Huh.
And it was something. It was spectacular. I only got yelled at once because of an answer that didn't, you know, conform to someone's, you know, whatever. I don't care. But it was a blast. Like these ladies, like knew their stuff about Taylor Swift. I mean, I had to read books about her to get the trivia down. You know.
See, my brother would know stuff, and at Burlington by the Book, they had these little golden books of people, and so I got him the Taylor Swift one for Christmas, and I'm like, you're such a dork.
But you know, I mean, like we had to have 2 shows, one at 11 o'clock, one at 4 o'clock, because we had so much interest in it.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was fantastic. But anyway, like the Office trivia, it's going to be 6 rounds of questions, of 10 questions per round. I have artist friends of mine who are fantastic. They are making me a paper mache head.
Oh, that's awesome.
Nice.
And I've got a Kango on the way for Date Mike. Yeah. So, I mean, I've seen The Office probably 13 times all the way through. And because, like, I'm a recluse, like I told you before. Like, I'm an introvert. I like to stay home, you know, and I like safety and I like repetition. That's what I like.
One of her big, I don't know if complaint, I watch too much TV.
I do too.
I get into something. Well, last summer, we decided to cut and get rid of cable.
Okay.
And we're just streaming. It was so hard because I was watching 2 hours of The Office every night.
Yeah.
And it would finish it and it would start back over. It would, you'd go through the whole.
So the funny thing about that though is I saw The Office. I watched it through first, and it was on when we had Netflix, like a long time ago. And it's just something you can just watch and just keep watching, and just like, one more episode, and one more episode turns into like anyway. But you woke up one time and said, how can you watch that and keep watching that? I don't know. And you fell back asleep. And I'm like, and now and I'm like, oh my gosh.
I mean, it, like, in my humble opinion, and I don't know TV, I don't know any of that stuff, but it truly is one of the greatest shows ever on TV. It was so well written. I mean, they struggled when Michael left.
Yeah.
They did. But they tried. And what, they last 2 seasons after that? Because he was through...
He was 7, and it lasted 9 seasons.
Yeah, so he left at 7.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they lasted 2 seasons after that. But they tried. I mean, they knew,
they wrapped it up so nice
right,
at the
exactly.
end.
I mean,
Which I can't give away any answers, because if I go there, it might be one of the trivia questions, and if I go,
can I give you a question? Can I give you guys a question now?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Very...
I used to be on quiz teams, and we used to have to sit there and go like this and then buzz down.
Oh,
so
no.
Is it going to be one of those things?
No,
no,
we're not going to do it like that. No. And that's what a lady told me at the Psalm the other day. She's like, I didn't know if I was going to have to hit a buzzer or not. I'm like, no, we just write them down and we just turn them in.
Okay.
All right. Here's a question.
Okay.
What was the name of the show that Michael was on as a child?
Sesame. No. Something room.
Somebody friends.
It was a little kids thing.
I want to have 100 kids so I can have 100 friends, and they can never say no to me. And that rat turns around like,
Yep.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, what was that show? Shoot, I'm going to have to watch it now before when is this?
The 15th.
The 15th.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, see, if it would have just come up in conversation, I would have been able to.
Yeah.
But the pressure.
But I love to do that to people.
Oh. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a really good question.
Yeah.
Joni's friends? I don't know. What is it? I give up.
Fundle Bundle.
Ah!
Yeah,
That's it.
Fundle
So
Bundle.
close.
Yeah.
I wasn't close at all, but
That's okay. I mean, I'm putting you on the spot,
Right.
But Fundle Bundle. It's okay. Here's another one.
Okay.
Chance of Redemption.
okay.
All right?
Okay. I like chances at redemption.
During the Michael Scott Paper Company. Okay.
Yep.
Got that
Got it.
timeline in there? Michael and Dwight are outside talking. And Dwight says, what about your shoe store? What's the name of the shoe store? For footwear for the discerning gentleman.
I'm going to guess it's Michael Scott's shoe store. I don't remember that part. Oh, these are good questions. I need to pay attention. I don't remember that I remember them talking, and I remember Dwight having just, isn't that where he was wearing his green underwear or something like that? Yeah.
And he pulled his shirt up.
I don't have them on. Yeah.
I'm not wearing a wire.
Yeah. I remember that part, but I don't remember. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Michael Scott shoe store.
Yeah.
Shoe la la. What about Shoe La La? It's not ready yet. Yeah.
All right.
I might not kill at this game as much as I thought I was
Wow.
going to kill at this game.
Like, some of the questions are going to be multiple choice. So, I mean.
Okay, so I have a chance.
Yeah. And then
Okay.
the thing is, like, you don't have to pay to play. You just come in, sit down, eat, drink, and answer questions. And at the end of the night, if you answer the most questions correctly, you get $200.
Well, that's still a win-win, especially since
It is.
there's no entry fee. So how does one make money at a game that you don't have an entry fee for? Is it just because people are eating and drinking and?
That's it. That's it.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So my cousin bought the Psalm in 17, I believe it was. And it was April 1st of 17. That was his first day of business.
April 1st?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I don't know. I don't care. But in July, he approached me about doing trivia, and I'm like, dude, I was like, I don't know what I think, because I guess Moto's had it. Mr.
Moto's was a fun place, but
Yeah.
they didn't last very long, I don't think.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't go to bars, so I don't know. He goes, I want you to try it and see if you like it. And if so, if it catches on, we'll just keep doing it. I said, okay. And so, like, I DJ wedding receptions and stuff like that. I've done that for 30 years, so I know what I'm doing there. But with trivia, I didn't know. I didn't know. Oh, just
With trivia, you didn't have a clue.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Absolutely right. So, his girlfriend at the time was like, just take Trivial Pursuit questions and ask them. I'm like, okay, but I forgot to keep track and all that kind of shit. So someone heckled me, and I don't remember exactly what they said, and I don't remember exactly what I said, but what I said trumped him and made everybody laugh. Right? So his girlfriend at the time was like, that was funny. Like, that was really good. And I just thought to myself, well, I've been doing this shit for years. I just don't say it in front of people, because, you work a wedding, you don't work blue, you straight and narrow and you make it about the couple, right?
Right.
So, so that kind of became my thing, like, is giving people shit during trivia, like a Don Rickles type thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So that's what I do. I've done that since 17. And like at the SOM, we've become very successful at it.
That's awesome. It's good for small businesses too to have something like that.
Absolutely. And like I do trivia nights for the Greyhound Booster Club. I do their nights. Des Moines County Humane Society, I do theirs, and it's just so much fun. And like especially, when I'm helping raise money for organizations, that makes it even more fun for me, especially for the Des Moines County Humane Society. I mean, who doesn't love animals? I mean, just to walk in there breaks your heart, and you want them to have homes, and if you can raise money to keep them fed and to keep them warm and to keep them, healthy, it's
raise awareness and all that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But we run Wednesday night trivia at the SOM every week if I'm not working on my day job, and so that's the thing. It's like I make fun of people, and it's not like I tell them, before every night. I'm like, excuse me, don't take anything that comes out of my mouth serious. It's a joke. It's
for fun.
Yeah, I remember this.
So you probably had some people take it serious.
Not so much,
Really?
because like especially like in Burlington and in this area, like they know who I am.
Okay.
They won't admit it, but they know who I am. But I remember one time I was doing trivia in Lee County, and so I make fun of the team names, because there was a team of all guys, right? And I was sitting at this table, and they were directly to my right. And what I do is I introduce myself, and I introduce the teams.
Okay, so you have to come up with a cool team name. When
Exactly.
You okay.
Yes.
That's
so,
good to know.
the team to my right gave me their team name. I said, okay, let's hear it for the 9-inch males. And there were 6 of them. And I said, is that all together?
Oh.
And so the crowd laughed, and so, like right there is the icebreaker.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then, so I said that joke and I said the F word. I said, fuck. And 2 old ladies got up and left.
Oh.
And I said to the organizer, I go, I'm sorry about that. She goes, it's okay. They already paid their money. I said, okay. All right, if you're good, I'm good,
Mm-hmm.
So this was pre-COVID. So during the trivia, there's a guy over to my left, and he's coughing up a storm. And I would talk louder over the microphone, And finally I just had enough. And I go, what is your problem? I said, are you sick? Are you choking? I said, put your arms up in the air. I said, that's what my mother told me to do if I was choking.
My mom did that. My mom told me that too.
Yeah. I don't know what it does. I have no idea what it does.
Magic.
Yeah, exactly. So he goes, no, I've got a cold. I said, well, why are you here? I said, do you need medicine? I said, is there a doctor in the house? And so these two very attractive women are sitting in front of me with their husbands on the sides of them. And this one kind of snotty woman goes, she's a doctor. I go, miss, I said, can you help my friend over here? I said, he's fucking up my act. I said, we got to fix this before I can go on. And I said, before we go on, I said, what kind of doctor are you? She goes, I'm a chiropractor. I go, so you're not really a doctor. The entire crowd laughed. Her husband is laughing in her face, like just guffawing into her face. And she's looking at me like, you fat son of a bitch. So like I go up to the table in between rounds. I said, miss, I said, it was just a joke. You know, I said, I'm just funning with you. She would not speak to me. She would not acknowledge me. Her husband is still laughing. And he's like, it's okay, man. Don't worry about it. She's okay. She's okay. I said, okay, no problem. And like the entire night, like I could just feel her staring daggers at me, which would just make me stare at her more because I want a reaction. I want something, you know? And so at the end of the night, I'm thanking people for coming. And, you know, people were thanking me for, you know, coming. And I said, miss, and she and her husband are walking by. And I go, miss. I said, hey. And her husband starts laughing immediately. And I go, are we okay? And she looked at me just as stone-faced as possible and just goes like this. I'm like, come on. And she walked out. Like, and her husband's like, it's cool, man. Don't worry about it. He goes, I thought it was funny.
He's going to be
I said, you're probably not getting laid tonight, you know? But, I mean, you know, sometimes I don't think I take it too far. But some people just are very, very soft, you know, and their egos are soft.
Well, this probably wasn't the first time she's heard that, though. I mean, chiropractors.
Well, chiropractors are doctors.
Yes.
Right. And you have to go to medical school, a medical school for it. I was just making a joke.
Yeah. You're just messing with her.
Yeah. I mean, it's a joke. My kid ranks on me all the time. You know? So
I think kids all rank on their dads. That's what they do. I hear that a lot in my household.
Yeah. I remember when she was 5, I'd sent her to clean her room. It was filthy, toys all over the place. And I said, hey, Pud. I call it Puddin'. Pud. I said, why don't you go in and clean your room? Told her a couple times she wouldn't. I go, come on, let's serious. Let's go. She's 5. Walks in. She got her blanket, thumb in the mouth, you know. She goes into her room. So I give her like 20 minutes. I'm like, let's see what's going on in there. So I open the door, and one of her shows is on. She's on the bed, laying there, covered up with her blanket, thumb in her mouth. I said, hey, I thought I told you to clean up. And she just looked at me. She wouldn't say anything. And I'm like, fine. I said, you know what? I said, whatever. I said, I'll do it. She pulls her thumb out of her mouth, and she goes, you're whatever. I had to leave the room and laugh and then come back in and be dad. You know, because it was so funny. It was just so funny.
Right.
The way she said it, you know, and she was so sweet. I mean, she's still very sweet. I tell people she's a jerk, but, you know, but
deep down.
She's my heart. She's my breath, you know, but she's got me right here. Like, whatever she wants, like, I'll get. Like, can we get Starbucks? Oh, we're going to Starbucks, you know. You know, can we go here? Yeah, I'll take you there. I don't care. But, I mean, she's just got me, you know. So, I mean, she's very funny. She's very, very funny. And, I mean, she makes me proud every day. She's just fantastic. She really is. But thank God she's intelligent like her mother, because I wasn't smart at all.
My daughter is 21, and she has inherited my sarcasm. Oh, she's good.
It's Gen X sarcasm. That's what it is. Yeah. Some of us have it, some of us don't. But it's Gen X sarcasm because that's the way we were raised.
Yeah.
You know, we were tough. Our parents were tough on us. I mean, my dad, like, I'll never forget this. We were in his friend's car, and we were eating, I think it was like Bell's Amigos, you know, and I was just a kid. It was like 9:30, you know, and I leaned over on him, and he goes, sit up, be a man. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm 8 years old, you know? But my dad's
Had a
tough.
taco. I'm tired.
Yeah, exactly. But my dad is the greatest man I've ever known, but he was tough, and his father was tough. My grandfather, I'll never forget. I was riding a bike. They had an old bike. It was a piece of junk, but I would ride it at their house. And my grandfather told me, he's like, well, I don't care what you do, Michael. He goes, don't go in the street. I said, all right, Papa, I ain't gonna go in the street. Getting going down the street, and I veered off the driveway into the street. And the next thing I hear and see is this car coming at me with this squealing his tires, with the brakes. And so I'm looking at this hood right here, and then I feel this eagle talon just grab my arm and just start beating the shit out of me up the driveway. And I look, it's my granddad, and I'm holding on to the bike. And he goes, don't let go of that bike. And I held on to the bike, and he was beating the shit out of me. And I'm looking at my father like, do something. He's like, man, you're on your own, fatso. I mean, he didn't say fatso, but he goes, you're on your own. And so, he goes, my grandfather said, go inside and don't come out until I tell you to. And he was very calm about the whole thing. I don't know. I go inside, and I'm doing that. My grandmother goes, what's the matter with you? I go, Papa just spanked me. What'd you do? I went out in the street. Well, you deserve it. Sit down. I started to sit on the porch for like a half hour. No one talked to me. Welcome to the Catholic family. It's not like I made a joke about Jesus. I do now, but yeah, they just, sit your ass down and shut up. So I did. I watched the bird feeders, that's all I did.
And you never did it again.
I didn't. No.
See, I tell you.
Because they wouldn't let me ride the bike. No.
I tell my wife, they'll do it once and they'll never do it again.
Yeah. I've spanked my daughter once. That's all I had to.
I threatened to spank my daughter, and she threw her kid brother under the bus. And I threatened to beat him because I knew she was wrong, and she would not break.
Really?
Oh, she wouldn't. She held on to that lie, and I told him, I brought my son in there. It's like, all right, I'm gonna go whap, and you're gonna go ah.
Did it work?
She didn't bend.
No shit.
She threw him under hard. Wow. I'm like, dang.
What's their relationship like now?
Between her and I, or
her and her brother?
Oh, they love each other. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She can mess with him. No one else can. He can mess with her. No one else can.
A lot of sarcasm.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, it flies.
Well, that's big. I can talk about my brother. You can't, because my brother's mentally handicapped, and that's I bring that into my act. I bring that in because it's funny. I had someone tell me, you think you should say that? Yeah, that's my experience with my brother. Mm-hmm. You don't know shit about it. So stay in your lane and laugh if you want to, but I don't need you here. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And the story is this, when we lived in Kingston, right? It was hotter than hell this day, and we were playing catch outside. And my brother was, he's pretty high functioning, okay? He lived on his own for a while, but he's just not right. He's a bit mentally handicapped. Mm-hmm. And that's fine. He is the way
what is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I love him regardless. So we're outside playing catch. And so I'm like, Bob, I'm bored with this shit. We need to do something else. And he always called me Mikey. Okay, Mikey, what do you want to do? I said, hey. Mom got us those that Jart set.
Jarts.
Remember Jarts?
Love them. Oh,
fantastic, weren't they?
Yes, we seen a set a couple years ago at a
antique store. We should have got it.
Yeah,
should have got them.
Yeah, they're death dealers, is what they are. Mm-hmm. So we set them up, and so you got the big hoops, and you try to get them in there. And I'm like, after 15 minutes, I'm like, I'm sick of this shit, too. And I go, I got an idea. He goes, what? I go, why don't I throw this as high in the air as I can? And you run around and try to stay away from it. Oh. Okay. So I did. I threw that son of a bitch as high as I could. And I'm watching it. And it's just climbing. And my brother's like, "Wah!" running around, And he's running around for a few seconds, and then he gets tired of running around, and he stops and he looks at me. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, shit. And I shit you not, thunk, right into his shoulder.
Oh my gosh, you're the reason why they're banned. You're the reason why they're banned.
It was me. It was the
gosh.
Ripple rule. So you have the Rooney rule, now you got the Ripple rule. And he comes unfucking glued. His big thing back then when we were kids was the Incredible Hulk, Lou Ferrigno, right? Mm-hmm. And he was like, "Rah!" And he already had his shirt off, but he was like, "Rah!" And he chased me, and he proceeded to beat the shit out of me.
Did he learn that from Grandpa?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So, like, he is swinging, and he's like, flop, 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 and I'm doing this. I'm covering. I'm bobbing and weaving and shit. And he goes, "Put your arms down so I can hit you, motherfucker." And I'm like, "Hey," I said, you don't have to hit me. You don't have to hit me. I go, "If I let you hit me, will you just hit me once and that's it?" "Yeah." Okay. So I'm like this, and I put my hands down, and he's like, "Crack, crack, crack." I'm like, "You son of a bitch." I said, "You said you." So anyway, he stopped hitting me long enough for me to convince him that we got to go inside to pull this jart out of his shoulder. Okay. So I'm an idiot. I'm a verified idiot. We go into the bathroom, and I'm holding his skin, and I go like that, and I pull that son of a bitch out, and it goes like that. I'm like, okay. I'm like, there's not a lot of blood. I'm like, it should be fine. I squeeze Bactine in it, and he's like, he's so mad. So I'm like, "It's okay, Bob. It's just killing the dead skin." "Okay." So I put a gauze on it and I tape it. I said, "Should be fine." So
How old were you guys?
I was.
Please don't tell me 2015.
No. 2012. No. I was 8 or 9.
Okay.
He was like 16. So we're sitting at supper later on that night, and I'll never forget. It was my favorite: fried chicken, fried zucchini, mashed potatoes. I'm loving life right now, eating. I'm stuffing my fat ass face. All of a sudden I hear, "Hey, Mom, guess what?" My fucking heart sank into my stomach. And I'm just like, and Mom goes, "What?" Bob goes, "Monkey hit me in the shoulder with a jar today." And she goes, "What?" He goes, "Monkey hit me in the shoulder with a jar today." And he took off his shirt. He has a hole like that in his skin. She's like, "What the hell?" And slapped me across the face.
Oh.
Yeah, and so we have to go to Mediapolis to Doc Baker, the town doctor. And he had to put like 9 stitches in his shoulder.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
what was the time frame from the time
It was
that
12 hours.
Oh my gosh.
It was 12 hours. Because I remember he had to look at it and he's like, "There's dirt in here." So he had to clean it out, and Bob's like, "Wah!" He's freaking out. So I think the moral of the story is, don't ask someone who's mentally handicapped to cover up lies for you. Honestly.
Wow.
That's
But
awesome.
12 hours with that. I'm surprised it didn't like bleed out or something like that.
there wasn't a lot of blood.
Oh,
It was like it went in at an angle. But it created the hole when it went down because it was like flopping when he was hitting me.
Oh, so maybe his beating you up saved his
His
life?
actions did it, not mine. I think my was right in, and his flailing is what made it bigger. So
Wow.
yeah. I mean, a lot of shit's happened. I mean,
Yeah, you're the reason they're banned, though, man. I'm just like, you're the what is it, the warnings on all these labels and stuff
that's
like
me.
that. Yeah.
That's my picture.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
Aw.
I am. No, I am.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, in my family on my father's side, it's always, how can you one up your cousin? How can you one up your uncle? Always playing the dozens. It's always an insult. I truly believe that we are the meanest family in America.
But probably a close family.
We're pretty close, yeah.
We're
Like with the ones who are still around in the area, and my uncle from North Carolina comes back pretty frequently, and we're close. Like something happens, the other one's there,
Yeah.
But we're mean to each other. We absolutely are. But I think that's what makes. Like my other cousins say that they can't do what I do, like talk in front of people and do bits and have a shtick and everything. But I think they could because they're that funny. I think they have that presence to make it happen.
But part of it's public speaking, so I mean, you might have the presence to say it in a conversation, but getting up in front of, complete strangers. Until you make the friend, until you become friends with the audience.
Right. I mean, that's what I would do. That's what I do. Is like, my first time up on stage was actually a comedy tournament. First time I had ever gone up. It was I think it was 2 years ago. It was in Peoria, and I had written these bits. You got 5 to 7 minutes. No, 4 to 6 minutes. Okay, if you went under 4, you were penalized. If you went over 6, you were penalized. Okay, so I wrote these bits out. I thought, man, this is comedy gold. This is hysterical. I mean, I'll get my own HBO special like that.
Well, Peoria is where Richard Pryor is from.
Yeah.
So I mean, they even have Richard Pryor Avenue. So
yeah, absolutely.
You could have.
I'm like, it was on a Thursday night. So, I was taking a half day off of work. I was reading my stuff on that Wednesday the night before. I'm like, this is all bullshit. This is stupid. Why am I even doing this shit? You know what? I'm just going to throw it away. And I'll get off work tomorrow and I'll write this funny, brilliant stuff, and they'll be blown away. I'm not even going to think about it. I go to bed that night. I go to bed at like 10:30. I didn't fall asleep till like 4:30. I was up worrying about this. I'm like, man, what I did, I screwed up. Like I ripped all the papers up.
Couldn't put it back together.
Could not. No. It's Humpty Dumpty, man.
Yeah.
So I get up and I go to work. And one of my buddies at work's like, I'm coming over to see you tonight. I'm like, oh, I wish you wouldn't. I wish you wouldn't. He goes, no, I'm going to come see you. I'm like, okay, cool. So I get off work at 11 o'clock and I try writing stuff and I'm just like, this is stupid. So I write stuff. I get like 7 minutes, but I'm practicing in the mirror and I'm like, man, I got to milk this. I got to milk it for all it's worth to get it to do anything. So, it's time to go. I hop in the shower. I take my notes, and I stop, and I got a meatloaf sandwich from the Jet Stop on Roosevelt. And so I jumped on 34, and I started going east. So I got to Galesburg, that the exit where you take to go to Steak and Shake. I love Steak and Shake. I'm like,
I wish they had one of those here.
Oh, wouldn't that be fantastic?
Yes.
Don't you know every building that opens is either a Steak and Shake or a Red Lobster
or a Chick-fil-A?
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I said, fuck it, I ain't going. Turn my turn signal on. Fuck it. Floored it. Headed east. Got there, and it was a preliminary competition, right? So there were 11 comedians, and I was 5th to go up. And so I had this stupid opening joke. It was dumb as shit. Like, it was so dumb. And nobody laughed. Nobody. I'm just like, I'm thinking to myself, Jesus, I'm all alone. I'm all alone up here, So I did a joke. I was talking about how strict my dad was. I said, and being a Catholic, growing up in a Catholic family, I said, if you did something, I said, a lot of times you get an open hand smack by your dad. Mm-hmm. I said, if you did something really bad, like put your sister in a figure 4 leg lock, you had to go to confession, where you were met with open mouth kisses.
Oh,
so that got a laugh because the judges were really like dark humor type people, And so I said something about being Catholic, and I looked down, and this lady was like, "Yep." And I go, "Are you Catholic?" "Yeah, I'm Catholic." So I had a conversation with her, you know, and like I'm talking to her, and like we're saying inside Catholic shit, you know. No, I don't think anyone else is Catholic, but like people were laughing, you know, people were laughing, and so what happens is like once you get over 5 minutes, there's a light going off up here, like a red light goes off. And I was busy talking to this nice lady, you know, and I go, and I turn and I go, "Oh shit." I said, "How long's that light been flashing?" And the voice comes over the PA and she goes, "You're at 5 minutes, 10 seconds. And I'm like quickly trying to do math for my final joke, you know. I'm looking at it. I go, "I can't get it done before 6 minutes." I said, "You know, I'm Mike. Thanks for your time," you know. So I got off stage, and then this very funny woman went up after me. She was hysterical. And so they took the top 3 performers that night. And it was, I missed third by 16 points.
Oh.
Yeah, because you can look at the sheet after, right? So I missed third by 16 points. I beat people who were comics, who had been comics for 20 years, 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was my first time up. But I think like what helped me was doing trivia and like being a wedding DJ, you know, because you have to read the crowd, right? So I'm not saying I'm the greatest at reading a crowd, but like I'm decent at reading people. You know, I know what to say, when to say, not to say, you know. But yeah, and then after that, like I would do open mics in Iowa City. I did some in the Quad Cities, you know. But and then I started with some friends down here, you know, and so we were lucky enough that the Nightcap was looking for events to put in. So I did a trivia night for them, which was a lot of fun. I was in the paper for that.
Okay.
And it was so funny that the reporter was very sweet. She was very nice. She goes, "If you haven't been to a Mike Ripple trivia night, you're missing out." And like she said that it was all self-deprecating, and it is. Like I make fun of myself, you know. I know I'm a big fat ass. It's okay, like, you know. But I'm big because I quit smoking. You know, I mean, March 28th will be 1 year smoke-free.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, I mean, and the reason I did that is because I want to walk my daughter down the aisle. The reason for that is I am the most handsome man in her life. Her uncles and her cousins all look like shit. I don't want her in wedding photos with some fucking ogre. I want her with her dad, you know? I'm extremely handsome.
And humble.
So, but no, like, and I'm fine with that. It's like a rambling man. I ain't good looking, but I ain't shy. I'm not shy, you know? I'm very confident in what I do. I'm not cocky because I know I'm not the best, but I'm confident. You have to have confidence, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, if you're going to get up in front of people like that,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you won't last long. If you,
yeah. And I love to talk to people, like we were talking about earlier. You know, when I'm not working, when I'm not doing trivia or stand up or a wedding or something, I like to be at home. Okay, that's where I get my ideas. You know, driving, I get my ideas too. Like, have you ever noticed that no one can negotiate the roundabout?
I
You ever notice
love
that?
the roundabout, and I
It's
remember,
fantastic.
It is.
But people, especially from Lee County, cannot negotiate it. They don't know what to do. So my biggest beef is this: when you're going south on West Bronson Avenue, right? When you're going south on West Bronson Avenue, and you come to the entrance of the roundabout, there's a yield sign there. It's a yield. It's not a stop. It's a yield. If you can't see two things at once, then you shouldn't be driving. You should just turn in your license. I don't know if it's just people from Lee County, but it seems like it is. They stop.
Oh, that would drive me nuts
They
because that's the
stop.
whole point of a roundabout. When you go, you can go.
Thank you.
And if you're not going to hit anybody, go.
There's nobody coming. And I'm just laying on the fucking horn. And I never, like, I'm laying on the horn, and I'm like, you have to go. It's the law. You have to go. Mm-hmm. And so I never want any harm to come to anybody, ever. I'm not that kind of person. I never say, I hope you fucking die. I never say that.
Well, that's good. That's
The
nice.
worst thing I say about people is, I hope you shit your pants. That's what I say. And I hope you do it while you drive. That's what I want. And I always do this. Like, if there's a jerk that can't negotiate anything, then I'm always like this. I've always got my middle finger so they don't see me and beat the shit out of me. So I'm driving. So I've got my middle finger just like that. People have to realize, like, if you can't drive, don't just stop it. Mm-hmm. My kid can drive. She's fine. But driving, I mean, you get material there, right? I had a lady cut in front of me today at Fairway. I mean, I'm in
There's
the
not much road in front of Fairway.
No. In Fairway.
In Fairway.
Yeah. Like, there was another lady and I waiting at the self-checkout. And this asshole just walks up like when one opens up, and I go, there's a line. She ignored me.
Oh.
And I just wanted to be like, but look.
You're fodder for my next joke, lady.
I'm Harlow's dad, so I can't be like that. I can't be like, oh, you stupid bitch. I can't be like that. I can think it all day. But at the end of the day, all she did was cut in line. It's not that serious. Mm-hmm. But the driving, that's serious. That's serious.
Well, if you're not going to drive proper, there's also the risk of hurting somebody else. So
Thank you.
There you go.
Especially if you stop at that roundabout, you're not expecting that car in front of you to lay on the brakes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Look, people always say you have to drive defensively. I drive offensively. Okay? Because I'm convinced I'm the only one that can drive. I'm just convinced. I'm a fantastic driver. I mean, call me arrogant, call me what you will.
Confident,
yes,
you're
not cocky. But I'm a fantastic. I'm like Rain Man. I'm a fantastic driver.
When that thing first opened, I was working at a local nursing home, and I was taking the elders out for a spin. And I'm like, hey, you guys want to go on the roundabout? And we just zip, zip, zip. Oh,
did you?
They had so much fun. Yes. Yeah, I liked the roundabout.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Because
and nobody else was around. And so we were able to go 5 times in a row. And then when people started getting dizzy, then I was like, okay, we should probably go back.
Well, because
When the barf bag comes
you
out.
know how to negotiate it.
yeah.
You obviously know how to do it. Mm-hmm. Right. I mean, and if you know how to do it and negotiate, it's fun. Mm-hmm. Okay, but if you're some idiot that stops and you put a pause on my day, right? And when you don't have to, be a mensch, be a good person, and just go.
Right.
Just get the fuck out of my way.
Go with the flow.
Yeah.
Go with the flow.
It just, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
I keep telling Amy that I'm going to start a business.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm a life coach. I need to speak into your life. And it's always at times where people are just at their worst.
It's
Yeah.
usually when they're driving the wrong way at Walmart, and it drives.
Okay.
Okay, I can get on board with this.
We were walking to the store, and obviously there's only one direction that cars can go.
Right.
Here comes this car. Like, you got... I'm losing it.
And I'm like,
I need to go talk to this
No
person.
life coaching. No life coaching. No, cannot do it.
You did.
I didn't. I really wanted to. And then they come back around and they were doing it again.
And they just
and
kept
I'm
going
like,
up and down the wrong ways.
what in the world? Are they high? And I
were.
said this loudly. And their window rolled down. It's like,
Whoa. They were
yeah, they
high.
are.
They were high.
Oh, they were.
And I was like, can I? And she's, no, just keep walking.
Yeah.
It's like, get in the store. Let's get our stuff.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
My thing is if I'm in traffic, someone does something stupid, blatantly illegal or blatantly idiotic and unsafe. My thing to yell at them is perfectly executed, like that, and they're like, I'm like, yeah, idiot, perfectly executed.
So that's
And
your
then-
life coach phrase.
Well, then I make sure I have a getaway because I mean, people these days are insane.
You never know.
Yeah.
Somebody cut my son off, and he let them know that they were number one. Mm-hmm. And he come home, he was unglued.
He's
And it's like, dude, you can't do that. Because I mean, you're a big kid. You take after dad. You can
Sure.
give him that look, and but he was just livid. And it's like, in this day and age, that one little finger,
Right.
somebody behind in that other car may have a gun.
Yeah.
may have
Right.
something to prove. We're gonna have a discussion, and you don't want that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but everyone's so fragile these days,
Yeah.
I mean, I make fun of everybody. My favorite thing to make fun of are politicians because
they make it so easy.
I think they're all full of shit. I don't care for any of them, Democrats, Republicans. I don't care. I really don't. They're all full of shit, and everyone fucking yells about stuff these days. Shut up! Don't yell at me. I work better. I respond better if you just talk to me. Don't yell at me.
Yeah.
I don't yell. Yeah, I used to tend bar at the Somme, and people would get loud and like they wanted to garner a response from me where I would raise my voice to them, and they would get even more angry when I didn't, and I stayed calm. I don't get upset. I don't, unless you can't really negotiate the roundabout. But like in face-to-face interactions, like I don't get upset because the one who gets hyper loses. The one who gets upset loses. My dad taught me that.
If you lose your cool, you just lost.
Yeah, and my dad I've seen him in very tense situations. Never lost his cool. Never did. Never did. He's that in control. He was that in control of his emotions. And so, and that's what I've tried to instill in my kid, like be in control of your emotions. I'm like, just because something upsets you, you don't have to let the whole world know about it. Right. And people are just so fragile, I mean, I don't know. I think the kids are especially like the kids that are my daughter's age. I see some of them and they're just like, they just scream for no reason. I think the shutdown in 2020 had a lot to do with that. I really do.
Oh yeah.
But I think it was going on. I think it was the trends were starting that way before the shutdowns. That just accentuated it really because
they just multiplied it.
Yeah, and we've become a society where you can be anything you want except for truthful with people, and you can be honest and still be respectful, but people just don't want to hear things that they don't want to hear unless they're saying it, and then I mean, it's kind of everyone's platform is the only thing that matters to them, but we got to reach across each other's platforms and get to know each other.
There's no discussion, right? Excuse me. There's no trying to see it from someone else's point of view, and it's just
there's no empathy.
Right.
That's empathy
and
right there.
It's my opinion, and it's what I deal with, and then there's a wall, and you can't break that wall, right? And so
unless you agree with that wall.
Exactly. Yes. And so doing comedy, you have to take into consideration what you're going to say. Because I'm writing a bit now about a gay friend of mine, right? A gay man will tell you everything wrong about yourself, but he'll do it in a way where he gets his point across. So I see nothing wrong with homosexuality. I just don't. I'm not gay, but if someone, I believe people are born gay. That's just what I believe. Okay. And I believe it's cultivated. Why would they sign up for this shit? Why would they? And that's just my opinion. I have no scientific fact behind it. I have nothing. If you think homosexuality is wrong, there's something wrong with you. Let them live their life. They're not gonna hit on you, dude. They don't give a shit about you. They ain't gonna hit on me unless they're a fatty chaser. They're just not. So I believe people should live their life as long as they're not hurting kids or stepping on baby ducks, leave them alone. You know what I mean? I'm not judging anybody. It's not my place. I don't give a shit what you do. Don't hurt anybody, and just be a mensch. Be a good person. That's it. You know? Now, I'm kind of a dick because I make fun of people, but people expect me to do that.
That's kind of the role you play when you're doing the comedy thing.
Yeah, but I'm not like that in real life. Like, I am kind of shy. Like, people say I have resting bitch face because I got jowls, right? You know, but like, here's my bitch face. That's it. Like, it's not that bad, is it?
No,
Yeah.
I think people just get lost in thought, and I think people read into people's expressions sometimes when they're not even paying attention.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but like, I want people to be happy. That's all I want. If something doesn't fit you, change it. If you're not meant to be in that skin, change it. I mean, would you ridicule me because I wanted to lose weight? You wouldn't, right?
No,
and that would be
no.
changing myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I leave everyone the fuck alone. It doesn't matter to me. I want you to be happy. You get one chance at this. You get one chance in this rock. Might as well be happy. If you don't like something, change it. And that's just my philosophy. Like,
Yeah.
it goes for anybody, you know? And I mean, I don't dog anyone who doesn't believe in God. I don't dog anyone who believes in God. That's your thing. Do it. If it makes you happy, I'm happy for you. But don't force your views on me. Don't force your opinion on me. Whether you're saying my body, my choice, or, you know, Jesus is, you know, the be all end all. I don't know. Right? I don't know. I'm not the smartest guy in the world. But I just want you to be happy. That's all I want.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And I'm happy if you just leave me the fuck alone. Right? I don't care about what you think.
unless you heckle you during a show to kind of get the show going.
Oh, and then I want you to.
Yeah,
Then
I was going
want
to say, because there comes a point where that kind of spurred you on to something there.
So one of the things I heard once, I can't remember what comedian it was, and I'm going to say it, but I don't want to offend you. Okay?
Okay.
Women are the fairer sex. All right? And women, I try to be a gentleman in front of women.
Okay.
But I'm going to say this line, and I don't want you to be offended.
Okay. I'm prepared not to be offended.
Okay.
I'm preparing.
So I can't remember what comedian it was, but it was in the early 90s, late 80s. And so this guy heckled him, and the guy said, "What did you say?" And he threw his heckle back out, and he goes, "Hey, I don't slap the dick out of your mouth when you're working. I don't want you to talk when I'm talking." Nothing?
I'm trying to figure that one out. Sorry.
I don't slap the dick out of your mouth when you're working.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, gotcha. I was sitting there thinking I couldn't quite. Okay, gotcha. It takes me a while.
Women like where I'm having a conversation with, I don't talk like that around them, you know, unless I'm doing my act. But I thought that was brilliant. I thought it was absolutely brilliant, you know. And so, I mean, I can't ever use that because it's already been used, you know. But I thought it was such a great line.
Mr. Carlos Mencia. That was his name?
Oh, he was, yeah. He
had his own show.
Yeah.
In the
Stole
90s,
jokes.
80s. Yeah. And he just got nailed to the wall for it.
He has. And, like, he never recovered.
Never. Joe Rogan went after him hard.
Very hard. And Joe Rogan's very, very funny.
Yeah.
But do you have a favorite comedian?
Probably Fluffy right now.
Toss up between Fluffy and Chris Rock was I don't know, always.
He was funny.
Yeah.
How about you?
I don't know if I have a favorite. I Fluffy. We watched a couple Fluffy things. Who Gaffigan?
James Gaffigan. Jim
Yes.
Gaffigan.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very funny. Very, very funny.
Yeah, and we were just watching his show. You know, his
He only lasted 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But the thing about him is, like, he's clean.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't cuss. He may say hell or damn or something, but he doesn't cuss.
Mm-hmm.
And I admire that. Like, for real. I think that's fantastic. I wish I could do that, but I can't.
It's not who you are.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
mean-
that. I'm not that guy. Like, this is how I speak. You know, when I'm around guys at work. You know, when I'm around my friends, rarely, but that's just how I talk. And I don't use profanity as like all my words. I use it to emphasize what I want to say.
Right.
You know, but like I really liked Red Skelton. Clean, hysterical. You know,
When you said Red Skeleton, my mind went to the Avengers with the Red Skull.
you know what? I'll watch the Avengers. Okay, jeez, and the Incredibles, both of them. But
Wait, you haven't watched the Avengers?
no. I'm kind of an idiot. I told
Okay.
you.
Well,
I told you.
I'm kind of I have weird geekdom, so yeah.
The Office is pretty much it for me. I go to sleep to The Office and Family Guy. That's what I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like
But,
The Office.
Um,
Oh,
like-
give me another trivia one.
you want another trivia question?
Yes, I have to redeem myself by the end.
Okay.
So you can think about it.
Well, I'll think
but-
about it.
How about you think of one and throw one back at him?
Yeah. I've never had anyone do that to me.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you guys talk. I
Okay.
got to think of a good one.
Do you remember Buddy Hackett? He was in the Herbie movie, The Love Bug.
Yep.
The big guy.
Yeah.
I remember watching an HBO special of his, 82, something like that, 83. And he said he was in Japan with the Marx Brothers back in the 50s. And he said, Harpo Marx, the one that never talked, because he said they were golfing. And he goes, Harpo Marx said, I'll bet you $100 I can hang upside down from that tree, take a piss, and not get anything on myself. Buddy Hackett said, okay. So Harpo Marx got up there, was hanging upside down, urinated, didn't get a drop on himself. Buddy Hackett said, okay, I'll try. Buddy Hackett said he got up there, started urinating, and just ran down his stomach into his face. So, and then he had a joke as where he was going to get a massage at the hotel. And he said, but it was a totally shtick, but said his sheet got caught in the door, and the sheet stayed up top, and he was there naked. He goes, I didn't know anything to do except sit down and cover up, you know? And he goes, and then the Japanese people started putting incense in my navel, thinking he was Buddha.
Oh,
You know? But,
Yeah.
I mean,
gotcha.
there's been funny, clean comics, and, you know, guys that just, like Norm Macdonald is filthy, you know? But he's so funny, along with Bob Saget. Bob Saget was filthy.
Never expect him to
No.
go the way he did. I mean,
Yeah.
because of all
Yeah.
the video
Full House.
show.
Yeah, Full House.
And the video show, yes. But he was filthy, you know? I know it's probably not your cup of tea, but have you ever seen the documentary called The Aristocrats?
Documentary, no.
Like the cartoon?
No, you're thinking Aristocats.
Yes, I
Yeah.
love that one.
Yeah. So it's probably not your cup of tea, but you don't go YouTube it, but you can. It's pretty filthy. It's really gross. But it's this old joke that's been around since vaudeville. And there's so many different interpretations of it. And it's just, the filthier you are, the better the joke. Gilbert Gottfried was the ultimate teller of this joke because he was absolutely filthy. And he could turn it into a 9-minute joke. And that's what he did at a roast. I can't remember which one they were roasting, you know, but Lisa Lampanelli was very funny. I saw her in concert.
I've
But
never even heard of her.
Lisa Lampanelli, she was she was on Howard Stern for a while.
I never watched him.
Oh, didn't you? Okay. And she was really big on the roast because she was just so quick roasting people. But the thing that like made me want to make people laugh, and you're probably going to be like, man, you're an idiot. You know, this is stupid. But it was like 1982 or 83. My mother took my family and I to Mount Pleasant to Old Thrashers to see Ronnie Millsap Remember him?
Mm-hmm.
Blind guy?
Yep.
Piano player? So we have pretty
I've
good...
heard of him, but I didn't know he's blind or
Yeah.
that he played piano.
Yep. We have pretty good seats. We were pretty close. And so his band's playing, and his wife leads him out and puts him at the piano, and he does a song and he does another song. And so it was, September or whatever it is, and it's still kind of nice out. And he goes, "Boy, it's hot out here." And everyone's like, "Yeah, it's hot." And so it was the funniest thing I thought I ever heard. He turns to the audience and he goes, "Boy, you're a good-looking audience." And I'm just like, he's blind. He can't see us, And my mother, I'm hitting my mom. I'm like, that's the funniest thing I ever heard, But I saw the reaction that the crowd gave, and I'm like, well, this is awesome. Like, you can do that to people. You can make them laugh, and because I heard the albums, Red Fox, Richard Pryor, and George Carlin, but I didn't know. I'd never seen that, and I saw that, and I was just blown away. I thought it was hysterical. And I'm like, I want to do that. I want to make people laugh. Because when people laugh, they're happy. And I like for people to be happy. I'm kind of a pleaser. Not to women, but just in people, I like to make people laugh. That was a joke.
I got it.
Okay. So, I like making people laugh. But, when I'm not doing that and DJing and trivia and all that stuff, I like to be at home. I like to write material, And I don't like to run it past anybody, because it's either going to hit or it isn't.
Right.
Right. And I've been on stage when I've gotten a nice, hearty laugh, but I've been on stage when it just shot over the bow.
Right. Now, are you more of a storyteller type?
Yeah.
Not just a one-liner?
Yeah. There are some comics in the area now that they can do one-liners, and they're really good at it. I mean, they can really bring them at you. But if you decide to go to open mic, you're going to see some funny people, legitimately funny people. I'm hosting, but Sarah Olson, she's been doing a lot of open mics. She hosted last month. So funny. I want her to come on and talk to you too, if you would have her.
Absolutely.
But she is just so funny. And see, what is bad, I think, is women comics get a bad rap because people say they're not as funny. I think that's not true. There's some funny women out there, and I don't know if it's just guys be ranking oh, women ain't funny, I'm like, bullshit. Yes, they are. There are some funny women out there. And some of them work blue and some of them don't. And, it's just whatever your taste is.
Right.
I like the entire spectrum. I think physical comedy is funny, sarcastic, dark comedy, all that stuff. I think it's funny. It's just, like Michael Scott says. No, the guy, come on, the English version of the Office.
Oh,
Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
Remember when they meet?
Yes.
Okay. And he goes, comedy, right, is a place where the mind goes to tickle itself. And then Michael hugs him, and that's true. Comedy is where the mind goes to tickle itself. I mean, you can find comedy in anything, your friend falls down. That's funny. I fell down. Listen to this. I fell down twice at work, 1 week apart. My knees, I was going to wear shorts the past weekend. My knees are so banged up. I don't want to show my knees. They're that gross. I fell because I was fueling up a piece of equipment, and I misjudged the step, and I went right on my face. Ouch. Luckily, I got a hard head, but I skinned up my right knee. Exactly 1 week later.
In the same spot?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. I was sitting there thinking, oh, please tell me a different spot.
Different
I'm
spot.
Just
different part of the work area. I tripped over a hose, but the spot that I hurt on my other knee, exact same spot.
So you have a matching set.
Identical. Yeah.
So people might think it's normal.
Yeah, but I know that's not.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's funny. Like, as soon as I realized I was okay, I'm laughing my ass off. I was. It's funny. It's okay. Like, people have if something is questionable, people have a hard time to laughing at it because they're like, should I laugh at that? Should I laugh at that?
I think that once you realize a person's okay, then that's your cue to go. You know, because laughing actually, I mean, it's laughing is better than aerobics, which is good for me. So it gets your heart going. It gets endorphins.
Endorphins, yeah,
exactly.
There's nothing wrong with laughter. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's whatever trips your trigger. And like with my taste in music is vast. Mm-hmm. Like I like Mario Lanza. I like Metallica. Like Don Adams. Country singer. Mm-hmm. I like everything in between. I mean, you can't.
I recognize one person.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, well, I know Metallica. I don't know the other two.
You don't know Mario Lanza?
No.
Louis Prima?
No.
Oh. Okay, Louis Prima had a bunch of songs like in Goodfellas, Casino. He's like on the mobster films.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
Louis Prima had some. Don Adams, they call him the Gentle Giant. He was a fantastic Tulsa Time.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. That's Don Adams.
No, Tulsa Time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
But like, I mean, how can you have an opinion about something if you haven't experienced all of it, or as much as you can?
Right.
Like my favorite music. Okay, my favorite type of music is punk. I like the Sex Pistols. I like the Misfits, DRI, Anthrax. Anthrax isn't really punk, but I like Anthrax. But Social Distortion, rockabilly.
Yep.
All that kind of stuff. I like that stuff. That's what I prefer. But I know no one wants to hear that shit when I'm doing a wedding reception. That's for me after the wedding reception. I'll play it then.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But that's just what I like. But that's my favorite, but I like everything.
Everybody wants to hear disco. I DJ'd weddings for a while.
Did you?
And then I realized I don't like the music. And I just couldn't get into it.
Music nowadays is horrible.
It is.
It's so bad.
It is. And then I had a phase where I was nothing but Christian music, and that's horrible.
Do you remember Stryper?
Oh.
Love him. Sorry. Love him.
To Hell with the Devil.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes.
And then Honestly.
Yep.
That's a slow song.
Mm-hmm.
I used to make out with my girlfriend to that song back in high school. Yeah. Yeah. So
Seen Stryper several times. Yeah.
Are they still around?
Yes, they are. They are.
No way.
They are.
Oh my gosh.
3 of the 4 original people.
I met
No
Michael
kidding.
Sweet.
Yep.
Did you know that I met Michael Sweet?
Nope.
Haha, you did not.
I
no,
did
I'm
not
kidding.
know.
I was at Agape Fest. He was there.
Nice.
When he
The
was
lead
going-
singer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I remember him, yeah.
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 So,
Is he the most famous person you've met?
No.
It was me.
You're the most
Confident, not
infamous.
cocky. Who's the most famous person you've met?
Oh, goodness. Well, a lot of them are from the Christian music scene because I used to work at a Christian bookstore and I got backstage a lot. So Stephen Curtis Chapman, Carmen.
Electra?
No.
I'm just kidding.
No. So probably just some of those.
Gaithers.
Oh, I sang with the Gaithers. I don't know if you've the Gaithers are like really old Southern gospel, and they came to Peoria, and I was in children's church, and they had some kid songs.
Okay.
They needed a choir, so I got to sing with the Gaithers.
Oh, okay.
And they bought us all Happy Meals.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So of that list, I would say
Or-
the guy from Stryper is the one I know.
To see, the one that did Breakfast Club. What was that song? Who did that?
Breakfast Club.
No, the breakfast cereal song. Shoot, who is that?
Breakfast cereal song.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about Newsboys.
Newsboys, yeah. So the Newsboys, my friends that I went with were DJs at the station.
Okay.
And so they got to do a lot of interviews with some of the people, and I got to go in there. And so they had this breakfast club or this breakfast cereal song. It was just some quirky little song that incorporates a lot of breakfast cereals. And he goes, "Hey, you want this?" And it was actually them handwritten. It was the lyrics to the song they were working on.
Right.
And it was before the song was big. I'm like, oh no, because I didn't want to be like any fangirl, I was like, oh no, I'm good. I was sitting there thinking, what the heck? I should have.
Right.
Oh, and Blackberry Smoke. I met Blackberry Smoke. Yeah.
The best Southern rock next to Leonard Skinner. And,
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
my goodness.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I've
Their
met.
drummer just died there.
Oh,
this
yeah.
Oh,
week.
okay.
Yeah.
They're amazing group of guys.
Okay.
Steel Woods. I met them. So, yeah.
How about you?
Ace Frehley.
No kidding.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Not while he was in Kiss.
Okay.
It was right after he came out with Rock Soldiers.
Yeah.
And I met him at KBUR. I heard him on the radio.
No kidding.
Heard him on the radio. I'm like, I'm going.
Right.
And so I hung out in the parking lot until they got there. I have this thing. If I hear him on the radio, I'm going. So I met Ace Frehley and it was John Reagan, the bass player.
Okay.
So we met them in the parking lot of KBUR, KGRS, and then Guns N' Roses when they came to town. They were on. It was the radio station across from. It would have been the old police department, which they tore down, and they're building the.
KDWD.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were on.
Matt Hatter worked there.
It was probably him doing the interview.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
So they were on the air doing the interview, and I went to the alternative school, and I called up the girl I was doing the newspaper with, and it's like, hey, let's go ambush him and do an interview.
Right.
And they let us in, and we did an interview with them right there
Oh my
at the
gosh.
radio station. And I remember Slash and Duff going, where's the strippers at? Oh, they're across the river. You really don't want to
Yeah.
go there.
Yeah.
But they probably did. But they went.
Probably.
I think it was Crackers at that right across the street.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are my two hugest people I think I've met as far as fame. Fame is. Her list of fame
Sure.
is completely different from mine.
Right.
So yeah.
Now, my friend and I actually ran into Axl Rose when he was getting pizza from George's.
Really?
Yeah, we didn't realize it was him. Because we were walking around. Remember where the little game room was there, Pizzazz? Okay. We were hanging out there and we were looking around like, where's these people at? And so we're like, well, let's just, go outside and come back in. We'll go, high school, we're smoking a cigarette outside and we'll come back in. So we're walking past George's, that little spot there, and
George's.
this guy, wasn't that the best?
Yes.
And I bumped into this dude. I go, oh, sorry, man, excuse me. He goes, that's okay. So we walk and we hit the door and we go, Axl Rose. So we turn around and we run to that little elevator, right? And he's sitting there with his food and we see his face and he's just smiling. And the door's closed and he goes up. Then we hit the button, to go up. And you got onto the floor, and there was these two huge dudes. You could not get past them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but the most famous person I met, and you'll know him, when I was like 7, 8 years old. I remember, I'm clear as day, like we lived, like I said, in Kingston, and I remember the phone ringing at like 5 o'clock in the morning because we had loud phones because like my mom was deaf and my stepdad was deaf, and so. All I heard my mother say is, what? Okay. All right, I'll have them ready. So my mother comes in my room. She goes, get in the shower. Your father's coming to get you. I said, what's wrong? She goes, nothing. Just get in the shower. Okay, so I get in the shower. And, in the 80s, no one gave a shit how you dress. I was mismatched, like a green and gray striped shirt with blue and red pants. I was an idiot, So, like, I remember my dad, like, coming out, and he was like, the steam was coming out of his car. And he had an old 66 Bonneville, you know. And so I get in the car, and we're flying down this gravel road, and we're fishtailing all over. I'm like, what is going on, you know? And I'm like, I thought something happened to my grandparents. So we get on 99, and it usually took like 15 minutes to get into town. Like I seriously was there in like 7.5, 8 minutes. And I remember my dad was the bar and banquet manager at the Holiday Inn.
Right.
And so we pull into that awning, and he goes, take this pencil and paper and go into the restaurant now. I said, okay. So, I mean, steam's pouring out, like it's knocking and everything, you know. So I walk in, and do you remember the lady there with the red beehive hairdo? I can't remember her name for the life of me, but she was like very sweet. And she's like, you went in the restaurant, and there was people over here, but I didn't see anything over here. She pointed me this way. She goes, go in there, sweetie. Okay, so I go in there, and I walk around the corner, and I look, and there's the back of this man, huge man with this big head of hair. And so I walk past him, and I turn around, and it's Andre the Giant.
Oh.
And he goes, hi, you must be Michael.
Oh.
I said, yes, sir. He goes, sit down. So I'm sitting there with Andre the Giant while he's eating breakfast. And
how much breakfast? I mean, the dude ate, right?
This
He asked for bacon and eggs. No, he asked for all the bacon and eggs.
This was the most amount of food I've ever seen in my life. Okay, so it was, I would guess, like a half a loaf of bread of toast. Okay, and I remember just the bacon just piled up on top. Okay, then he had like 2 plates of 6 pancakes. And they were already dressed with syrup and everything.
Wow.
He had 2 pots of coffee sitting there. Okay. And there was just butter everywhere. All right. And so he goes, I met your father last night. And he said, you're a fan of mine. I said, yes, sir, I am. And he goes, oh, good. And then we talked about his daughter and all this kind of stuff and his farm in North Carolina and blah, blah, blah. And so, like, we got Polaroids with him, you know, and all that kind of stuff.
How cool.
Yeah. And so at the end of it, like, his handler told him, he's like, we got to go, man, you know. He's like, okay. So he goes, we get up and take a picture. And he goes, hey, he goes, I need you to do me a favor. Andre said this. I go, yeah. And he goes, stop cutting your muscle shirts to look like my singlets. Because I would cut one side of it off. So I had the strap here, you know.
Right.
And he goes, that costs money, right? And he says, mom and dad can't be spending money on that all the time. And the second thing he said, and he was real serious. And he put his hands were just huge. They covered my whole head. And he grabbed me by the chin, and he said, stop putting your sister in wrestling moves. She's a girl, and it hurts her. You know, because I would always put her in figure 4 leg locks, you know, stuff like that. But he was just such a gentle, sweet man. He really was. But what had happened, he was doing a show at the auditorium. And my dad, it was a slow night out at the bar. And so my dad was just doing his count, you know, of his inventory, blah, blah, blah. And he heard 2 voices out in the lobby. And he heard one voice say, I'm going to go put my stuff away. He said, I'll be down. Okay, he didn't think anything of it, didn't think of an accent or nothing. And he goes, and the other guy goes, 4 fingers? And he goes, yeah, 4 fingers. All right. So this guy comes in, my dad looks up at this guy, and it's his handler, you know. And he goes, I need Olympia, or whatever the 70s beer was, or, you know, early 80s. Yeah. And he goes, then I need 4 fingers of Jack. Okay. So my dad gets it for him, puts it on there. The guy pays for it. And so my dad continues to do his inventory. And so then he hears these 2 guys talking. He turns around and he goes, I looked up. And he goes, I just kept looking up. And he goes, holy shit, you're Andre the Giant. And he goes, I am. And so, like, people were congregating out in the lobby. And Andre was like, ugh, you know, here we go. My dad goes, shuts the door and locks it. He goes, you guys, it's just you guys. And he's like, thank you very much. It's very nice. He goes, I'll tip you well. And he goes, I ain't worried about that. He goes, I'm just, you know, I can imagine what it's like. You know, they sat there until 3:30 in the morning drinking. Wow. And he said, Andre just drank and drank and drank. And then, like, he got up at 5 o'clock to get ready to get out the door, you know, get on the road. And that's when my dad, my dad said, I haven't been to sleep. He goes, I drank with them as much as I could, and I came and got you.
Wow.
You know, I mean, but that was, I mean, you know, he was just so cool, and I just remember his "Don't do wrestling moves on your sister." That scared the shit out of me right there, you know.
So did you listen to him?
No, I continued to jump off the back of the couch and forearm smash her. You know.
When you meet somebody like that, you've got to continue, no matter what, you know.
Yeah.
You want to
Legacy and all that. Yeah.
And then I tried wrestling like in middle school. Horrible. Need your ceiling painted. You know, I was bad. Oh, I was so bad. I wasn't aggressive. You know, I was very passive. You know, so.
Yep. Well, tell us about this open mic comedy night. When is it?
So it is. It's the last Thursday of every month. It's going to alternate host between me and Sarah, Sarah and I. But what you can expect is amateur comedians going up and trying their bits. You know, we're going to have this thing that we just thought of. It's going to be called a drive-by joke. So if someone doesn't have 5 minutes, like you still have that opportunity to come in and do a joke that you came up with to see if it hits with the crowd, you know?
Okay.
And I think it's a good idea because, you know, like people
Test the
don't
waters
know.
type of thing.
Exactly. Because I tell people this all the time. There are so many funny people in Southeast Iowa, but they just don't have, the means to, the closest place to do it is like Cedar Rapids or Peoria. That's an hour and a half each way, you know? And something here, and Tammy was so gracious to let us do this. And, but it starts at 7:30, and like I said, I'll be your host this time, and Sarah and I will alternate. But we had 5 comedians last time, and it was, it doesn't last long. I have 45 minutes, but the host will do most of the material because the host will do an opening bit, and then a bit after each comedian.
Okay.
But again, remember we are amateur comedians. We're not professionals. Okay. So don't expect Chris Rock to come out and wow everyone because it's not going to happen. I'm very, I'm very open about that. It's just, I'm not that good. I'm just not, and we work on material and hopefully someday have a showcase. There are some very, very funny people here, and I want to encourage people to come out and try it. Because you don't know until you try. If you think just as an inkling that you want to try it, you have to do it. You can't leave this earth and not try.
Right.
You have to do it.
Right.
You have to. You're going to kick yourself in the ass if you don't. I believe everyone is talented in their own way. Like mechanics, not me. God gave me the ability to make people laugh. That's what I do. Oh, and play great music at a wedding reception.
There you go.
I don't have the ability to do car work, tear something apart and put it back together because it's going to stay in the 100 pieces. I'm not going to put it back. I'm not.
Or if you try and put it together, do you have extra pieces that were supposed to go to something and then like, hey, I have all these extra pieces.
Isn't that with every man?
I made the car lighter. Okay? Therefore, it goes faster.
See? It sounds logical to me.
Yes.
Yeah. Goes so much faster.
She's got a lot of big plans down there for the nightcap and everything. And we just we want people to come out and support local comedy. We don't know what this can turn into. We want this to grow. We want this to become bigger and attract different acts from, different locales.
Well, maybe Peoria will come here, and maybe Cedar Rapids or wherever you said it was will come here,
I hope so. But this is just a way for us to get out and to try to hone our skills, so when we go to bigger cities, we can hit better up there and then bring that back here, because eventually I would like something bigger to come out of this. So but
nice.
Tammy's been very gracious with everything with this, and she's a fantastic person, and she lets us do what we want.
Right. I love the nightcap.
Isn't it a great spot?
It is so cool. Yeah. I really wanted to go to the 20s thing, but we'll go to the 20s thing sometime.
I heard that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it looked fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Of course, you got to get dressed up for that one.
Yeah. Are there any costume places in town?
Well,
Not anymore.
the Weird Heralds, they sold all their costumes off, I think.
okay.
So
Okay.
It's all Amazon now.
Yeah, pretty much.
So-
Pretty much. Did you have a question for me?
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
okay, from The Office, somebody grew something in their desk drawer. Who was it and what was it?
It was Creedy sprouted mung beans.
He did. Oh. Man, I should have thought harder. Dang.
Do you want to see a foot with 6 toes? Yeah. How many kids does Meredith have?
One son. 2?
A boy and a girl.
Oh, I just know about the one kid that turned
Yeah,
into the stripper
remember
at the
she
thing.
said I had my second kid just for the time off.
Yeah, but I thought it was interesting that the first one, the boy, was on the early episodes and then all the way to the very end episodes. And yeah.
Mr. Poop? Yeah. Dwight.
And then he's, for the bridal shower hanging out.
That's not how you do it. But no, you guys got to come to the office.
Absolutely.
It'd be a good time.
Absolutely. And it's, yeah.
Sounds like a good time. And it's just really neat to see different things happening in Southeast. We have so much stuff going on. There's a lot of music. There's a lot of the art centers hopping with like all the local artists and the arts classes. We have
trying to figure out what to do on a
authors.
Friday night.
Right.
Used to be like, there's nothing to do.
Right.
And now you have to narrow it down
options.
because there's something. Yeah.
Well, see, you say that like I hang out with three friends of mine that I pretty much hang out with just them. They're all 3 artists, and like it's so funny. They'll try to explain something, and I'm just like, I have no clue what you're talking. I can write a fart joke. But I can't see what you're saying. Like,
So they're the artist. You're the fartist.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Hold on. Where is it?
No, I think it's the middle one there. The want.
No. Yeah. No.
I can't wait to watch this. But yeah, they are extremely talented. They really are. And like, they try to explain to me what they're seeing, and what's on the painting, and I'm just like, it's blue, I don't know. No, it's this, and they're all so smart. They all have like their masters and stuff like this. I mean, they're truly funny people. They really are. I think they get a tax break or something for hanging out with me. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Could be. So.
You're the token comedian in the group.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm.
You'll be the guy taping a banana to the wall and making them go, whoa.
Exactly. Okay, now do something with that.
Sell it to the museum in Chicago for $1 million.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, thanks for stopping on. You said I'm not very interested. Almost 2 hours. So
No
far.
kidding.
Yeah.
Holy cow. I talk a lot. Like, if I find like nice people, like I enjoy talking to you, and you are nice people, and I enjoy talking to you. You're both very, very polite. Yeah.
Got him fooled.
Yes.
No,
What the hell? Get the hell out, fat ass! No.
You ought to see when the ring camera catches us sometimes.
Oh, well. But no, you guys are very cool. And I appreciate
Thank
you
you.
doing something like this and giving people, I'm not that talented, but like Schwarm and those guys are talented, and I think this is a great avenue for that, and just to get the word out and so people can see it. And it's so accessible.
Yeah.
You just check it on your phone,
I had a
right?
guy listen from Spain.
Really?
He's like, I'm living in Spain, but I grew up in Burlington, and it's keeping me connected.
Okay.
I'm like,
great.
man, that's cool.
So we're
fantastic,
international with one person.
That's great. That's fantastic.
Did he move from France? Because I keep telling people he's from France. But was
France
it
or Spain, one of
somewhere
those
over
two.
there. Yeah.
But
Either we or C. We. I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's fantastic you guys do this. This is really, really cool, man. It really
Thank you.
is.
Thanks. It's been fun.
And thanks for having me on. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It was
Thanks
nice
for
to meet
coming
you.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys are very, like I said, you're very nice.
And we'll come down. So on the open mic night,
Yeah.
I seen that it was standing room only.
It was full. Yeah, it was full.
So what is a good time to get down there?
So the show starts sign up for the comedians is at 7.
Uh-huh.
So probably a good time to get down there seriously is like 6:45.
Okay.
Because the comedians don't count in, don't factor in as the crowd. So they're back, so they're not in the seating area.
Okay.
But look, when we've got.
Is the full kitchen open at the same time so people eat, or is it
I
more
don't
of
think
just
they
the
have
show?
food, just the show, just
Okay.
the bar, yeah.
Is that at the nightcap or at the Sum?
The open mic is at the nightcap.
Okay,
Yep.
okay, yeah, because
Trivia night.
Trivia night.
nights is okay.
Trivia night, all this kitchen's always open.
Okay.
At the Somme. But at the
They have
nightcap.
good hamburgers there.
Great hamburgers, yeah. My favorite are the steak nachos.
Hmm.
You haven't had them?
No, I have
Do you
not.
enjoy steak nachos?
Do I enjoy nachos in general?
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Please get the steak nachos.
Okay.
You will not be sorry.
Well, now that you have asked me politely, I must, get the steak nachos. I shall have to try them.
But they have a full bar at the nightcap for open mic. The seats are soft and very comfortable. They've done a fantastic job with that. So, but and the sound's really good. You can see everything that's going on, and it's a great time. It really is. I mean, we got some really good laughs last time, and
They do have food service through the bean counter now, though.
they do. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw that.
Yeah. So, it's a great time. I encourage everyone to come down, man. I just want to make you laugh. That's all I want. I just want you to have a good time. That's it.
And I'm sure we will.
Yeah, absolutely. Please do.
So, all right. Well, I think that's going to do it for us. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Give us the other lady's number.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Contact, and
Yep.
we'll definitely get a hold of her.
Awesome.
And so Burlington, that's going to do it for us. We will catch you next week or the week after or sometime whenever. We'll be back.
We promise
with somebody.
we'll be back with people.
So, yeah. All right. Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.